cloud as well.
I've got a gut feeling I saw a message from Princess that she couldn't make it. Yeah.
So we did have 25 registered. That does happen quite often here.
Yeah.
We're such a global community that people log in when they can and others watch the recording, which is why I made sure that we did have the recording today. But I'd like to welcome you all. I see that the UK group is strong in presence, which I really, really like. Thank you. And Paul, do you know are you new to the group? You are? Okay, to the charter as well?
You're on mute at the moment, Paul.
Yeah. Find your unmute button somewhere. There you go.
Hi. Yeah, I'm actually I live in Spain, but I am British by extraction. So
whereabouts in Spain do you live?
Well, after the last 24 hours, we're not too sure yet. We only just got power back. 5:40 something this morning. And I need a medical device to sleep. So that was like, oh, I can't sleep. And my wife was going,
oh dear.
So yes, we had an interesting few hours, but not as bad as a lot of people who were in hospitals and things. So it seemed to be all right. We'll try and find out what's going on. But yes, as I say, British by extraction, and always felt to want to support Charter for Compassion since I came across it working in the NHS for 33 years.
Wonderful. Thank you. So I'm British by extraction as well. I live in Mexico. There we go. It's an international community. And so I think the best way to start is for you guys from the UK to tell us what you've been up to, because maybe we can have a brief introduction of who each one of us is. So I'll start just for Paul, because I think I know most of them. Nicole actually is somebody new. I'm Merida McCarthy, and I'm program coordinator at the Charter for Compassion. And I'm the one that tries to kind of set up these meetings and try to keep our entire community and in the know of what is happening at Charter and in these different communities. So this is the UK chat, and here we have the UK group. So let somebody else go next, whoever wants to. Andy, Sue.
If you like. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm down in Taunton, Somerset. Been with the Charter for about 6 years, I guess. We've had quite a lot of success down in Somerset. Back in September, Taunton Town signed the Charter. So the mayor and the councillors signed it, which was a beautiful moment. And then last week, I don't know, so much has happened. Glastonbury signed. The mayor there signed a beautiful display of cross-faith unity, actually, because we had so many different faiths represented, and signing the charter we had Christian, Buddhism, Muslim, Druid, and somebody from the high priestess from the spiritual temple there. So yeah, it's really nice. So I'm going after Frome and probably Yeovil next, and maybe Wells. Yeah. So that's me.
Thank you, Andy.
Shall I go next? Oh, Kathy.
Sorry, Sue.
You go.
After you.
After you. Okay, I'll go. Thank you. Yeah, so inspired by what Andy's doing. It's just incredible. Compassion in action. So I'm Sue. I'm based in Nottingham. I'm an ambassador for Charter for Compassion, and I'm a non-exec director with Positively Empowered Kids, and Jackie is the director here. and lots of other stuff. But we're compassionate community building. I'm a co-director with a group called Living Cities Earth. It's a global group, and we are translating the global picture from that and Charter for Compassion into our local community, Living Cities Knots, co-creating compassionate communities. And Marida flew over from Mexico and came to one of our meetings. So we still continue to meet every month, and supporting Andy and Heather to set up compassionate UK CIC over the next couple of months. That's me. Heather, over to you.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see some new faces. I live in Portsmouth on the south coast, and we have. I've been involved with the Charter for Compassion for about 5 to 6 years. We've started an initiative in Portsmouth called Compassionately Portsmouth. We do undertake acts of kindness under the umbrella of the Good Neighbours Network. Hit the buffers about trying to get the council to sign, and I've rather put a hold on that until we get the UK Compassionate CIC up and running, and then I will try again. So that's me.
Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie.
Hello, just unmuting. Hello, everybody. I think I've been connected with the Charter for a couple of years, but for some reason, these meetings completely dropped off my radar. I've only just found it again recently. So it's nice to be able to hop onto the UK chat again. It's very lovely. So thank you for having me. So yes, as Sue said, I'm director of Positively Empowered Kids and founder, which is about 5 years old now. And we are all about helping children to flourish and thrive, helping them to discover ways to do it, but find their own way to do it. For me, it's very important that each child is or has trusted adults around them. I think from what I've found out recently from young people directly is young people need a voice, and I'm very passionate and I advocate a lot for young people to have a voice around the table to be able to find ways to be the best version of themselves and actually tune into who they are and reconnect with themselves. That's something that I'm aiming to do with all the work that we do. The biggest thing we do is a festival every year, our Positively Empowered Kids Festival, which is showcasing just such a wealth of ways that young people can build their minds into a place that is more definitely compassionate, connected, regulated, balanced, and aligned to be able to, as I said, to flourish and thrive. So we have everything from physical activities to nature activities, young performers, therapy, the arts, all sorts of things. So our next one's on the 22nd of June, which Sue will be there. And I've got a very clear vision now of working with young people in community to create these focus groups and help them to look at how they can really improve their lives and what they need and who they need to deliver that. So we're doing a lot of work in our local community at the moment of really connecting deeply with these young people, because they really have lost faith in adults in their schools and homes. So we're building those trusted adults. It's a bit like creating that village to raise the child, but with a community of real trusted, safe adults that can really listen and value those children so they feel like they belong, because again, that's coming out of our work and what the voices are saying. So that's a little bit about me. I could go on, but I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. It's amazing work that you do. And I've had the chance to live it, to see it happening. So it's nice. Thank you. So Magdalene, Nicole, or Paul, whoever wants to talk next. Nicole, yeah.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I've been a kind of silent supporter for a couple of years, and you know, due to kind of life events and things like that, didn't really have the space to get more involved, but I do now, and so I wanted to come along today and just sort of find out a bit more about what people are doing and see maybe where I could, find a place to help.
Lovely, thank you.
Where do you
So,
live, Nicole?
Bedfordshire.
Oh, not so far away. I'm in
No.
Oxford.
Oh, okay, yeah, not very
I have
far
an
away at all.
unstable camera, and so that's why I'm sorry. I just got fed up with trying to make it, work.
I think we've all been there.
That's all right.
I'll have to go to my tech buddy again.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's me. I'm a coaching psychologist by day.
Okay.
Really interested. I did some work with compassion studies in my master's degree, but I mainly work in sort of creativity and creative thinking now. So,
Nice.
Wonderful.
so lovely to meet you all.
Sorry, I
Thanks,
dropped off there, folks. My internet died, but I'm back.
Oh, hooray. Well, my camera's dead, but never mind.
We're still here.
Yes, I'm in Oxford, and I've been I think it was in 2012, and Marilyn Turkovich came to London, or something or other. We had maybe a Zoom call or something, and there were 5 of us on it, and she said, you can all be activists. So I've been an activist for the Charter for Compassion since 2012. And it's gone through dips and dives. But this really feels as though we're on the up. Things really go in cycles. We observe it all the time, don't we?
Yeah.
And even the Charter itself, has had its highs and lows. And I feel that everywhere I go, there's a conversation which has that word in it these days. Whereas 10 years ago, I was explaining all over the place what the word really meant. And people just weave it in and out of conversation so easily now. Compassion. So what do I do? I'm really embedded in this community, and I'm weaving together Age UK and Women's Institute and the Association for Country Women Worldwide and VSO and probably none of you have heard of Sushila Dharma, but that's the spiritual organization that I'm associated with. And I write books, and they earn money principally for the Charter for Compassion, but any of your associated compassionate charities can, of course, have the book and sell it. These are Myths and Legends from Africa, and there's a new one on the way, Myths and Legends from China. That's ready to go almost. And I'm associated with somebody who is going to be translating them into French, German, Dutch, and Spanish, which I find quite exciting. And in a small way, they spread that golden rule, because these are myths out of the depths of time. And these were the stories that all early peoples told everywhere. It's really interesting.
Yeah, they are amazing. Thank you so much, Magdalene, for all you do and have done. You and Heather, I think, have been at the Charter the longest.
No, well, yes, Heather, but also Mary Catherine, who can't be with us today, and also Marg Mead up in Scotland.
Mhm.
and a whole host of members who head up Compassion in Kinross-shire.
Mhm.
And we have a large membership around the country, actually, but they can't all hop on to these Zoom calls.
No, of course.
We've got Jimmy round the corner here in Oxford with Compassion Matters and all the wonderful programs that we're going.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's a sort of a nebulous organization in a sense, isn't it? We're a little bit amorphous, we can't quite handle it, but as long as it's anchored in the golden rule, we're all safe and sound.
Yes. No, and I think it's somehow been a very steady group throughout the years, and that's always very much appreciated here at the Charter. And there are communities all around the world, and each one is very unique. They're all organic. Times change, people change, places change, and it's a constant evolution and transformation. And
Exactly.
and that's the Charter has changed, and it's changing once again. Even the wording of it is going to be changing. That's the new project for this year. But before I go into all of that, maybe we can hear from Paul, and you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself, Paul?
Hi, yes, I'm learning to grow olives in Spain.
Wow.
Not necessarily by choice, we just needed some land for the dogs to run, and it turned out we had a little bit more land than we thought. And they're the old type, you can read books under them in the summer, which we seem to be enjoying. So my connection is with the Charter started, well, I'm looking back actually just on my notes, 2015 was when I think I first signed it. It may have been the second time I signed it on through an NHS course, management course, and I thought that was really good. And what I've since taken that forward with is certainly about self-compassion, but also self-regulation. I know that I can get emotionally dysregulated, so I'm quite selfish. I had to learn 30, 40 years worth of life to that selfish isn't necessarily a bad word, even though it had been drilled into me that it was. And during a separate time, somewhere in my 30 years in the NHS, I came across a wonderful woman called Julie Hurst, who works at the Work-Life Balance Centre and has at the time, she had a wonderful time management book, which I loaned out because I was being magnanimous and loan the good stuff out and never got back, and I really miss it because it's a damn good time management book. It says how to get things done, but in like a little pamphlet, which is beautifully done. Anyway, she came back to me like a boomerang through a podcast all about the work that she uses on a program called Pebble, which is teaching children basically self-compassion, self-regulation. And I just thought, oh my God, that's really good. And if anything, if you haven't worked out yet, I'm somewhere on the spectrum. I have a certain degree of self-awareness, and I love mind maps. So all this stuff gets out of here into a mind map and color, and I'm quite happily PDF them and send them to you if you want to connect with Julie Hurst, because I would sincerely like the work that all of you are doing with future generations about self-regulation and believing that we're not all bad people when we're older, even though I am a grumpy bugger. And I can also give you a link to the podcast that she was on, and you can link into people who are into education, which you may already know because I don't know what you don't know. So yes, Julie Hurst, Work-Life Balance. I think she's in that neck of the woods in Nottingham. Somebody was from Nottingham. Yeah, hi. Because because that was also my neck of the woods. I was in Trent region when it was Trent region, Lincolnshire, Nottinghamshire, and then I moved to NHS England and walked out the door when they said, "Do you want to take 2 years' salary?" I went, "Yes, please." Decided becoming an olive farmer was a great career move. It isn't. I spend so much money and get so little back, but the olive oil is the best. Anyway, zip. Thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you. I think you said so many things that we all have something in common with you. And from I do not know Julia Hurst, but I would really love to get in touch with her. I think she could be a great addition to the Charter for Compassion in all its forms, for Compassionate UK and for the Charter for Compassion as well. So anybody you know, and this goes to everybody, this is kind of like, and this space is specifically, you can put things in the chat and share links that you would like other people to know, because then I send these recordings with those links to the people that that are watching this as well, and invite them to be partners and invite them to join the Charter. And I'll talk a little bit about how that happens and what we've set up on our website, so that it's hopefully gets more and more intuitive and user-friendly with time, at least, because we're constantly working on the back end to try and make things more accessible. And before we go into my part of all of this, I would love to hear a bit more. Andy, would you like to say a bit more about how it went about, or just for communities that might be listening in to us?
Yeah.
How did this work? How did you get to be a affirmed city? That's the
Well, yeah. I mean, there were two routes basically, either bottom up or top down. And initially, I started working with a number of churches and schools, and with an organisation called Citizens Somerset. And it was going okay, but I found Citizens Somerset were really quite aggressive towards the town council. And I realised that actually we were not going to get the council to sign the charter, because the way Citizens Somerset were behaving with them was really quite antagonistic. So I decided to work top down, and that basically involved actually getting to know the individuals in the council, to the extent that they pretty much became friends, actually. I mean, I was quite lucky because of what I do. I run a health and wellbeing centre in the town, so I run a lot of wellbeing events for the council anyway, doing sort of wellbeing villages and stuff. And I'm also a radio presenter, so I get to know a lot of people. Yeah, so with Taunton, started back in 2017, I guess, something like that. And I was making some progress, but of course then COVID hit and totally derailed things. And immediately after that, they decided to reorganize the council entirely, go for a unified council. So that delayed things further. But then, beginning of last year, I got to know the then mayor-elect, who is the current mayor, Vanessa Garside. And she became a good friend, and she said, we've just got to sign this. So I then went to a series of council meetings, talked to them, told them what the charter was, and they then went away and thought about it and took a vote, and they decided to adopt the charter. And we had the signing ceremony in the big church here in the Minster, and it was rather nice because the other mayors from the county towns around were present to witness it, which made my next job a lot easier. But on the back of that, actually, what we then did was we started to have town public signing opportunities. So actually Heather came to one of them in Wyndham Hall, where we invited organisations and individuals to come in and sign the charter, which was lovely. And then we had another one in the town centre, in the actual big shopping centre there. So we got some musicians to play to attract people in, and then we got the public to sign it. And then I'm hoping that in June we've got a big eco fair here in Taunton. So I'm going to run a compassion meditation, a talk, and another signing opportunity. So we're gradually finding ways to involve the public so they can sign. And then Glastonbury, of course, the mayor, Loka Bandhu, who's also a Buddhist, which made it nice and easy, became a good friend on the back of the Taunton signing. And he then invited me up to Glastonbury to again pitch to the council, and they voted to sign. And that was a week ago. So yeah, we're gradually tendrilling out into Somerset.
Wonderful.
I think Wells would like to sign. That would be a beautiful one to get. Yeah,
With the cathedral and so on.
yeah. I think it would probably, if it happened, it would probably take place in the town hall, which is just across the way from the cathedral. But you never know; they might want to do it in the cathedral.
Have you been in touch with Julian
No,
Abel? No, because
no.
he's very much Froome, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd love that. That's one of my next ones as well. I think
You
Froome,
said, yes.
really good one. Yeah. So yeah.
Because they devolved their council. The secret they felt, as Julian explained, that the council devolved financial dependency on the Somerset Council, I suppose, and looked after their own finances, and all their councillors are independent rather than attached to a political party. And that makes it all very different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Yeah, real sort of servant leader relationship.
And they can concentrate exactly on what the people of Froome want.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
So that's.
And Andy, could I ask you, so whilst you kind of shared the video with the Glastonbury one, amazing. Obviously it was a huge, big document. So when you ask people in to sign the charter, do you have like an individual piece of paper that they can take a copy away, or how does that work?
What we do is we take the big charter that the dignitaries all signed, and we've edited it and squashed up the signatures a bit, so there's space for a public signature underneath. So essentially, the member of public will feel like they're signing the same charter that those dignitaries sign. What we then do is we stand them with the mayor, who's also there present. They sign the charter, we take a picture, and we take a register. So we take their email address, and afterwards we send them the picture, and they take away their signed charter with them. So, and Glastonbury are going to do the same. Yeah.
Okay.
And where do you get these these charters from? Do you have them printed?
I did the graphic design, I did the editing, and then I've got a very nice company who are brilliant printers in Taunton. They print them off. Yeah.
Well done.
If I may interject here, Sue, the charter document that Andy produced excuse me, is on our shared documents file.
Oh, okay.
You'll find it in there.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you.
I need to upload the Glastonbury one actually.
Yeah. So you get their crest on it. You get their local.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I generated it with a font that looks kind of oldie worldy. So it looks like a proper historic document, which it is. I mean, you know, Taunton have now got their charter on the wall in the town council office, you know.
Oh, lovely.
They've
Marvellous.
they've got a scanned image in the Heritage Centre, so
Mm.
I'm sure Glastonbury are going to do the same thing.
Great,
Mm.
great. That's
How
wonderful.
many cities under Compassionate Cities have signed? Do you know?
I don't know.
Mm.
Don't know.
That's a sort of
Where in the world?
in Britain.
In the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
In
a
Britain, it's so Glastonbury would be the third. That's
No.
actually
No, Compassionate Cities is a separate
It's-
charity. Mm.
Oh, okay.
But it's the
Yeah.
one that Julian's attached to, isn't it?
yeah,
Mm.
it's more about kind of mental health and well-being, though, isn't it? It's not as wide.
Palliative care, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Julian,
Holistic approach. Yes.
Yeah.
He
So
had
it's
a
not-
very expensive conference last year in Birmingham. I mean, it was like 500 to attend or something, and I thought that was a bit above and beyond. So I didn't
Wow.
go, but it would have been quite convenient. It's only an hour up the road from Oxford.
Did it go ahead, Magdalena? Because I seem to think it didn't.
Well, that's because they overpriced it.
Yeah,
Probably.
but I will look into that. I don't want to spread something that's not true, but I just sense that it was, yeah, it was going to be
Perhaps
the
they
end.
scaled it down or something, Sue.
Maybe.
Should we have a chat about the setting up of this CIC?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So for those that haven't been on here before and probably haven't heard this, we had in one of these meetings previously, we were talking about how we can bring the UK together a bit more coordinated. And you know, the penny dropped after that meeting, and I thought, well, actually, one of the challenges we have is that people change. You know, in this group, we won't be here all the time. Maybe we move away, or you know, pressure of work and that sort of thing. And therefore, if you've got someone who's coordinating, pulling things together, cheers, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
And that person leaves, then you kind of take the information with you and the kind of the central point. So this is where the idea of the CIC came from, because there you've got a company. It is a not-for-profit company, but it is a company, and it then has a number of directors, 3 directors, say, but those directors can change, the members can change, but the company still holds the data, holds the information, holds the website, so you don't lose it. So we got together and thought, right, well, let's set this up. Now, one of the other reasons for doing it is because in my work with getting the councils to sign the charter, one of the challenges that we've hit in the UK is that they have often pushed back and said, why are we signing something that's run by the US? And it completely misses the point, because it's an international charter, but we have to listen to that pushback is there. So the second thing the CIC brings is that we can now say, oh, it's Compassionate UK CIC that is pushing it out in the UK. We're still very much part of the charter. We're under the umbrella of the charter, but we can use that language with the councils and dilute that argument and hopefully have more success. So these were the 2 primary reasons for establishing it. We've now got 3 people step forward as directors. So 2 of them are here tonight. We've got Heather and myself, and also Princess. who, so we'll have 3 directors. And actually, Magdalena, you've been a huge help finding people that can assist us, because we needed accountancy and legal. And in Magdalena's networks, one of her family, her niece, Khatija, stepped forward as the legal representative. And then we've also found our accountant as well. So there's
Rahina.
Rahina, yeah.
Mm.
So Khatija has been looking over the articles and memorandums for the establishment of the charter. So she's done that. So we've got that back. And actually, I think we're pretty much ready to go. We've got drafted the CIC establishment form. We can do it online anyway. So I think we're ready for the incorporation of the CIC. I definitely think we should go ahead with that this week or next, if I can carve out some time. Heather's found an incredible company who will build the website, and because we're a CIC, they won't charge for that. And also Heather's identified the bank that we should go for. So step 1 is to establish the CIC. Step 2 is to start setting up the website and set up the bank account, because then step 3, what we're going to do is launch a UK-wide crowdfunder, because we need some money. If we're going to take this out into the UK, approach these councils, set up training, etc., we need some money. So we need a crowdfunder. That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
And that's the way it works, and in many other countries as well. That is what tends to happen. It's kind of like the steps that are logical in this in this process of becoming a charter partner, and how do we make that trickle down through the locals. So sometimes people ask us, what is a compassionate community? Well, any community, and as human beings, we are all compassionate, aren't we? To start with, we get deviated, we go down the wrong track sometimes, but we are compassionate, and we can come back to that. And cities are the same. Wherever there's suffering, there's a chance for compassion, and wherever there's a motivation, an intention to help others, to be at service, that's where we can go ahead, and that makes a compassionate city. Now you can sign it or not sign it. That's also depending on the needs and of the moment. And so you reminded me, as you were talking, of compassionate Pakistan, compassionate Australia is a very strong, compassionate community. And that's why we call them communities and not necessarily cities, but they are affirmed cities within our structure. So you have initiatives, which are just groups or organizations, or just somebody who says, I want to create a compassionate city. So that would be an initiative. And then they turn into affirmed cities once the local government has signed the Charter for Compassion. That becomes an affirmed city. So Taunton and Glastonbury are now affirmed cities. All the others are still initiatives. They are still, some will be very, very active. Some might not be so active. And that's just the way it is, because everybody is compassionate. We can't really say, oh, to be compassionate, you have to. There are certain things you do have to do. We all know them. But the first thing is that will to serve and to help and to be there for others with the heart. So thank you.
I think what we'd like to do is get as many people that are on this network. Actually, that you mentioned 25 registered. I'm sure there's many more that are on your email list. Once the CIC is in place, the CIC is a membership. So we'd like to get as many of those people signed up as members of the CIC, because then they'd have voting rights, and we can think about how we want to take this forward in the UK. Because best will in the world, you know. Myself, Heather, Princess, Sue, Magdalena, we can't do it all ourselves. We need loads of help. So yeah, so that will be important actually.
So
Of course,
our contact database is there available for you whenever
yeah,
you would like to send a
We've
newsletter
got
through
those.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have
if you
that, I
receive it.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mm.
also be able to send out notifications to those people. So I
yeah,
can send out newsletters for you with that invitation. And that is one of the
brilliant.
services. So also I want to invite everybody that you get to sign the charter physically to also join the charter to be in our contact database, so that that also starts summing up and they get to know all the programs and everything we have to offer here as well, because we find programs from all over the world that are related to compassion, and that is specifically for those communities. And the idea is that you help us invite people to those as well, whilst we help you invite, get people to come to you. So it's
Lovely.
that beautiful infinity symbol that comes and goes.
Yeah.
That uses.
Perfect.
Could
Yeah.
I ask just a couple of things? The name of the CIC and the name of the website, are those the same?
Yeah.
So
Well, the website is just Compassionate UK. The CIC legally has to have the letters CIC in it.
Yeah.
So it has to be Compassionate UK CIC. But I don't think we should put those letters into the website because it doesn't sound very nice.
I wonder, just going back a little while, when you purchased the original website, I seem to think it was Compassionate Communities UK.
No, it's compassionateuk.org.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's compassionateuk.org.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. And then the other thing, because we do quite a lot of work here with children, how old can the members be? Can there be any age? Is there anything? I'm thinking of sort of parental responsibility, etc.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's maybe something, because I know Annam does a lot with children, doesn't she, for Charter for Compassion? Is there the idea of the future informing the present, and to have the children in would be it'd be revelationary, I would suggest.
Mm.
In
Good
terms of,
idea.
yeah, in terms of legal company governance, I don't know. That's a darn good question, but I don't see why we shouldn't have a CIC youth membership.
Yeah.
Why not? What stops us from doing that? I don't think anything does.
There
And
is a children's charter somewhere.
there is at the
On the website.
Yes. Yeah. So
so
why wouldn't that be available for children to sign? Have a copy, have a little badge, have a
And
bracelet
we used to
or
have a
whatever.
program called Compassionate Schools, which we're trying to revive as well.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of finding the right moment and
there are two key
right
questions.
energy.
The first is yes, there's no question we can do that. We can set that kind of side of the Compassionate UK up. But the second side is from the perspective of the legal company, the CIC. I think there might be rules around that in the UK for who can actually vote on behalf of the membership. I think there's bound to be, but I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Khadija might be able to tell us actually.
He might.
It's whether the children could join as members, like a Youth Voice in Action or Youth
Yeah.
Voice in Compassionate Action, or
It's in on board.
I honestly can't see any reason why not. I really can't. Yeah.
if you could ask Khadija, that would be something that we could maybe explore.
I definitely can. Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got 15 minutes to go, and I would really like to show you our website, so you can also get acquainted with this and share. And there might be a few people who are watching this that don't know the website very much. So when I mentioned the possibility of signing the charter to Andy, what I meant was it's this button on the first page. So this is the URL, charterforcompassion.org. Will take you straight here, and you have to join the Charter for Compassion. When you click on this, you come to this form that explains, it has the charter text in it, and it explains what you're signing, and you fill in your personal data, and you say you want to receive our newsletter. We communicate through our newsletter, so it is important that you leave this blue. It has its tick on it, because if not, you might not get our newsletter. When that happens, an email is sent to your email, which will ask for verification. And so that is also an important step that some people don't realize until they verify they're actually in our database, but we can't send them notifications or anything. And as I say, the charter, we use our newsletter for everything. We send a newsletter every 15 days, unless there is something important, when we might start sending it every a weekly email. And then we also send specific area email. So sometimes like the UK, so you'd get an invitation to the UK chat if you are in our database saying you would like to receive our newsletter. We have a couple of important things coming up. Today was the Allies in Action in our UK chat. So the events, the main events that you'll find are on the main page, always as updated as we can possibly keep them. But on Wednesdays, we always have a Harmony of Humanity, which is it's exploring common grounds through music. It's fantastic, like a radio program that Marilyn creates, and the quality and the theme of each one of those sessions is really, really fascinating. Then we have the Compassionate Ambassador program on also tomorrow, a bit later on during the day. This is just what Andy has just explained about how to create a CIC in the UK. What are the things that they needed? This is the same. They created guidebooks and the Compassionate Ambassador program in Sacramento, California. It is US based, but it can inspire other countries and other communities to do the same, how to create community ambassadors, and what they followed to do that. We have a Florida chat coming up once again tomorrow. And so Florida is trying to become, I think it's the second compassionate state in the US. And what I really wanted to mention, and I want to invite everybody that watches this and everybody here to register for, is the Compassionate Action Conference on the May the 14th and 15th. This is going to be, we're trying to make this one of our main annual events. So we do hope you can come. It's especially created for networking, for getting to know what is happening in other parts of the world. And I believe Andy has already registered to one of them. We're actually going to have a Sangha. I'm going to be guiding a Sangha on I think it's a Thursday, and one of the last things after one of the last events. The idea is to get to know what is happening in the compassionate world, make this an annual event, make it bigger and bigger, get more and more people. But we have an incredible lineup. We have Elaine Miller-Caras coming. Marianne Bowe has done incredible work in healthcare. I can't name everybody that's going to be presenting there, but it's going to be a fantastic event. So I recommend everybody to be there, to register. Once you're registered, you'll be able to access these conferences or lectures for the following 6 months. So it's okay, you don't have to be at everything, but do try to be at as much as you possibly can. We have global reads. Global reads are really important. We have them approximately every 2 weeks, and we have chosen such amazing authors that is like one of the places where you should also be. We also would like you to spread this to your communities as well. So all the events that we do, they are for you. And Valerie Carr is from Australia, I believe, New Zealand.
What time would that make it in this country?
Uh,
That would be sort of
10
10 or
10 o'clock.
12 at night.
10.
10-ish.
10. Mm.
Yeah.
But when you register, you do get the recording, so you can watch
Of
it later.
course. Yeah.
That always happens. So please do, I encourage registering even if you can't be there. Obviously, if you can make it, it's even better because you could ask questions to the author. You can interact a little bit with them. And we have a course coming up that Marilyn has designed. It's called Planting the Seeds of Compassion. It's a 2-day course, and you can choose. In order to be able to cater for different time zones, one is going to be an AM session at 8 a.m. for us. That makes it 3 p.m. in the UK, more or less, on 2 consecutive days, the 20th and the 27th. So it's 1 day, 1 week, 1 day, and the same day the next week, a week later. So you can actually get to do some of the action prompts that she's going to be offering there. And so you can choose the PM session, which is 4 p.m. That is midnight in the UK, but that one is actually quite useful for other time zones. So we also, Andy and I, both guide the Charter Sangha. The Charter Sangha is just a place for meditation. It's a 90-minute session, and everybody is invited also to register. That takes place on the last Saturday of every month. We're there at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and that's 5 p.m. in the UK. And it's just a little present for our Charter community. So this is the Compassion Ambassador guidebooks that I was telling you about from Sacramento. And we're going to actually have that meeting on Wednesdays. So as you come down, you can go to our news, you can explore our website. There is so much information. This website contains 9,000 pages dedicated to compassion in all of the sectors, in various different cities. How does compassion take place, and what does it look like for every different person? So just 1 second. Sorry, my doorbell rang, but my mum is going to open the website. So we're working with different sectors. Now, this is going to be changing quite soon. One of the biggest transformations is going to be integrating these 12 sectors into 7 pillars. And we have related them originally to Ubuntu, but the actual transformation, and I wish Marilyn were here, she will be at our next meeting, I hope, because the bringing them together into 7 pillars that are based on all the faith traditions, on the main principles of different faith traditions, will hopefully enrich the Charter much more and make it easier for people to understand what we're doing and where we're working. So I'll stop sharing for a moment, and if anyone has any questions.
Oh, sorry, you carry on.
Thank you, Andy. For me, there's just a little bit of confusion about time, because sometimes the timing is in GMT, but of course we're in British summertime, and then some of the timing is in UTC, which is GMT. So I've got a bit, it's like I came on an hour early, and that I'm okay with that, except it's like, oh, hang on, maybe I ought to mention that because we're in British summertime, when it's UTC, it's not the same as where we are now. So I'm thinking for the conference, I put a proposal in, but it's like, well, what time have I actually asked for?
Okay, the conference is actually set up to show the time on your computer, most of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it works really well, actually, Sue. If you go into the conference schedule,
Yeah.
wherever you are, it will show your local time for the scheduled talks
Okay.
and so on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, so that is one.
I'm, yeah, I was worried because I'm doing one of the talks and I looked at the schedule and it was coming out about, I did the conversion because I looked at it, it's 5 o'clock, yeah, and I thought that's when I was, and then I thought, hang on, if this is Pacific time, that means I've got to be up at sort of 2 o'clock in the morning. But then the penny dropped. It's actually doing the conversion for you. So it's
Oh, okay, I get it. Thank you.
which is why when you look at that schedule for us in the UK, you look at some of the sessions and they are about 3 o'clock in the morning, and you look at them and you think, I'm not sure I'm going to be attending that one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have solved that problem with the with the conference, and our database is set up for Pacific time. So when I set up an event, it will automatically be set up in Pacific time.
Yeah.
And so then I have to make the conversion, and that's where I make the mistake. So whenever you do see a mistake like that, let me know. So I make typos, I'm dyslexic, I click on the wrong place occasionally, and I
Well-
set up zillions of these, so I can. It's rather confusing.
Because it's like today, it says on that thing 5 GMT. So, but because we're in the BST, it's like, oh, so it's not 5, it's whatever. Okay, thanks.
I think it's always wise just to go up because there's loads of time translations on the web.
Yeah.
I tend to just dive in there and go, okay, it's 9 o'clock PST. What's that in the UK?
That's it. That's the best way to work around.
Yeah.
As I say, our system is set up to be PST, so
Yeah.
or PDT,
Yeah.
depending on the time of year as well. So
Yeah.
but always let me know if I get something wrong or you have any doubts about that. Just send me an email and we can correct it. Mhm.
How is the Charter for Compassion making its presence felt in the current government in America?
There's a question.
How long have you got?
I tell you, that's
Well, I
useful.
feel, you know, there should be a record of something or other by way of expression of, you know, regret that
Oh, yeah.
so much has been thrown out with the bathwater here.
Yes. Well, those tend to appear in our blogs and newsletter. Marilyn does write about what is happening.
Well, I
and
know she
her
writes
feeling.
in the Spark, but what I'm asking is if a letter of protest or a letter of support, indeed, from the Charter has been sent to the White House or perhaps to the Democratic Party. They need some backbone at
So
the
we
moment.
have been trying to invite some of the Democratic Party speakers to come to either our global reads or to our
This will be
events.
good. Or to the
That's one of the
conference.
things we are
Are there
trying to do.
anybody coming to the conference?
I don't think they are this year. But
I think we have to bear in mind, Magdalene, that the Charter of Compassion is not a political group, nor does it affiliate to any particular faith. And I think that's what's
and being a
the
501,
Charter is being cautious about. Because once this lovely man with the wig gets his teeth into you, he can destroy you.
yeah.
You know, and that's the last thing we want. I mean, I know we have to stand up and be brave, like Bishop
We do.
Marianne,
And we have had funds
Edgar,
taken off
Like,
of it already.
yes, Bishop Budd. She was
Yeah,
just most
but-
marvellous.
Yes, and there are lots
you know,
of bishops that are.
let's just think about this.
And I think
I
the
only
idea
asked
is
the
to
question
protect
because, you know, it's like he's like the elephant in the room in America. The whole world is suffering from this one idiot. but nobody says
Thank you,
anything.
Sue.
The
Mhm.
Democratic, party say nothing. Hopeless.
Yes, well, I think once again, we do have to be very cautious about what we say
Yeah.
and how we say things.
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic, unfortunately, yeah.
It's all about love and compassion. Just keep
Yeah.
being loving and compassionate.
Yeah.
Show me
Get
the
through it.
way, Heather.
Have faith, have hope.
How does that work itself out?
Oh,
Oh, I mean, the image of them of the
Thank you,
funeral
Nicole,
on
for being here.
Saturday was
Cheers,
just
Nicole.
terrific,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah,
Complicated times.
they are. And I do know that some of the organizations that helped fund Charter for Compassion have stopped being funded. So that means we don't get the funds either. So it's complicated times. We're doing a lot. This the Compassionate Action Conference is meant to be that kind of a space. We're doing our best to network and get the word out there that we exist and still stay alive, but to get supporters, we also need sponsors, donations, whatever can come our way to survive.
Magdalena,
that's
sign
what
up
we're
for my
looking at.
session at the Compassionate Action Conference. You might hear some subtle references to what's going on. Because
Yeah, good.
Because I'm presenting.
Be bold, Andy.
Yeah.
Be bold.
Well,
Courage.
my talk is called Leading from the Heart. So it is about behavior of leadership and how we move to that compassionate place. So,
Well, at the end of the day, most people, as Mariti has been saying, are compassionate, particularly women. We're good at it, and actually, it's not a bad thing to be a little bit more honest in a loving and corrective manner.
Yeah.
As
Well,
you would a child that's going astray.
Well, hopefully I've got that right in my.
I know you have, Andy. You are our secret weapon here.
You haven't heard the talk yet. I might have mucked it up, but we'll see.
No, you won't have. No, I know. I believe in you.
Okay, well, I think we come to the top of the hour, so and past a few minutes. So I
Did you
thank
have
all
to
for being here? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have to wait for answers from Khadija, or was she quite quick?
Oh, she's come back. Yeah, so we've got them. And actually, she's saying that although the text could be read in the way I was reading it, that's not what it means in law. So
we don't
need
good.
to make changes.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, she's highlighted a couple of things which I might need to tweak, but I'll get those out to you all. Well, certainly, hopefully this week.
Lovely.
That's lovely then. All
ready to roll.
working. Yeah, we're set to go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mariti.
Once we're up, Merida, I'll draft an invitation to UK people, and if you can then send that out, and it'll basically, I guess we'll set up a simple sign up on the website so that people can go, yeah, this is me, I want to be part of this.
Definitely, and we can update our own UK page with a link to your page directly, so people can send them.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Wish you well, everyone.
Yeah, good to meet you, Paul.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Paul.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.